I'm sitting on a table right now, and she's got like yeah, that's like the chair that they would zoom in on a Christmas special, and you'd be like, not smoking a pipe, but maybe.
I don't mean to alarm you, but your arm on fire.
That's right. You know, you need to put on deodorant when your armpits do that. No, I'm saying this feels like almost a holiday special kind of vibe going on here right now.
We were chilly. We thought a fireplace chat would be nice and cozy for you and us.
Yeah. I came down when Melissa was wearing like a fall jacket I got her for Christmas. That's like a wool jacket in the house.
On a sweater, and you guys know me, I
yeah
usually have sleeveless, so
I said, you must be really cold right now. She's like, don't bother me. Don't ask questions.
Hi, Heather.
So we decided that we'd perch next to the fire today with it going. Hope you guys are all doing very well, and hope that you're keeping good. It's so funny. It's obviously winter right now where we are. I don't know where you are. You might be like, yeah, it's cold, you know, and then actually for us, it's like summer weather. But here at our house, we have about 1.5 feet of snow. It's a lot of snow. It's like that, you know, this is turning into a fish story. It was this big. It's a lot of snow. And I went a couple days ago to Calgary, Alberta, which is a 3-hour drive south of here. No snow. Like they just had a little bit of frost misting the grass. I'm like, what is going on? How is our weather so different 3 hours from where we are?
Anyway. But we haven't really had any snow in the last maybe over 2 weeks now.
Don't jinx it.
I know, it's coming, it's coming. Wood. So this is just accumulated from the last 2 months, I guess. It's crazy.
Yeah, it snowed a lot, and then we've had this reprieve from the snow for a bit, which is good because I had a lot of stuff going on in the garage. People coming and going and stuff getting assembled and moved around. So I have an update video on that coming up. I don't know, I'll probably edit it tomorrow and get it out at some point over the next day or two. I'm working on a couple little update videos for you guys here. And yeah, there's just been so much going on. Diecast Dave, Nitrous Diecast says, I don't like snow. You know, a lot of people who live in our area say they don't like snow, but I think that I'd actually miss it. Like I don't think we need this much of it for this long.
I don't mind the snow. I don't even mind the cold. I only don't like when the roads are not safe. That's the only time.
And that it gets dark early.
That too. I love my sunshine. And you can tell, like for us, I mean, now it's like 5 o'clock getting dark. Before it was 4, so
yeah. It's
coming back.
You know, I see that some people are seeing that I got a haircut. I went back. This is the hairstyle I had, like maybe 10 years ago or more?
Maybe.
It's the 2003 Alex. So anyway.
No, it looks good. I think they did a good job.
Yeah, so I'll keep it short for a little while. I thought I'd try doing the longer hair thing for a while, and anyway, it was time for a change. Plus, when I'm working on a vehicle now, I don't have to worry about long, gangly hair getting...
Yeah.
When you do that, like the Popeye look, blowing the hair back out of your face. Anyway, that was going on. Somebody's asking about the house in the corner there. That little house back there, my grandpa built that. That's actually a replica of our family farm. I never saw it, but it's the farm that my grandpa grew up on, our homestead. One of the first places that actually they lived in right after they moved up from the United States in the 1900s. So that's what that's all about. That's a replica that my grandpa built. And he did a really great job. It's got little shingles on it and little details. He put curtains in the windows. He just did a lovely job. Mm-hmm. I remember him at that time. My grandpa lived in Calgary. And I'd go and visit him. And usually I'd see if there was chores I could do around the house. Like if I had to paint like he had wooden window boxes that were white. And his trim was all white, and the house was like stained dark brown. It was like a wood-sided house, and it was stained dark brown. Very kind of like wide plank, cabin kind of plank wood. And what was it? Gerbera? Geraniums, yes. So these white boxes, window boxes at my grandma and grandpa's house, I'd go there every year, and my grandpa was really on top of maintenance. And so paint the white, he'd restain the house, make it look perfect. And I remember at that time I was going over there to help out, and I was painting those window boxes, and he was running out to the, it was like a dollhouse sort of store, a place that you could go and buy dollhouse supplies, and he was buying stuff. I'm gonna go get it. How about that? How about that? I'm not just gonna talk about it. It's actually a lot bigger. Woo! It made squeaky sounds.
I don't know if it made the squeaky sound. I think we all heard it coming from Alexander.
Okay, look, it's a lot. It's bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
But look, those are real shingles on there and real siding. So
That's a
this is
little back door.
this is basically an exact replica of the family ancestral home from like the teens. Anyway, I guess this house still exists, but they've renovated it so much it doesn't look like this anymore. Someday maybe we'll drive out there and go see it. It's not
Yeah,
too
it's
far
pretty
from
neat.
here.
I put Christmas lights on it during
She did
Christmas.
have Christmas lights on it this year. Hey, look, it's all of me. Look, usually you guys just see like my hand holding something. Hello. I didn't realize I don't set up the tripod when I'm shooting my videos too often because I'm so involved with what I'm up to. But anyway, that is going on.
Who's playing chess?
I was playing chess with Jason earlier, but right now the chessboard is just holding my wine glass. I mean my fermented grape juice. Anyway. It's actually not bad wine. My friend Jason got me that for my birthday. He came over on my birthday and brought that. You know, I should call up Jason. One of these days, like when I go on some sort of adventure or trip, I like to take friends with me out there. And I should probably give him a call and see if he wants to go and do something, hang out with me for a bit. Hey, your chessboard setup is wrong.
Probably.
It might be. I jostled it around earlier and moved the pieces, so it's probably not quite set up. Or maybe you're looking at the camera in reverse. Maybe there's that.
Oh,
Who
you know
knows?
what it is? I think, is it the queen has to be on the opposite color? Or the king?
Queen has to be on the same, its own color.
So,
The queen was in the wrong spot.
yeah.
There. Are you happy now? I hope you're happy at home. Now I fixed the chat. But boy, talk about attention to detail. Maddie Katana. Whoa, wow, what a great name. Says hi from Australia and it's at $5 Australian all the way over here. Thank you so much. Pardon my cough too. Still recovering a little bit from having a ailment a few weeks back. It's just turned into basically a lingering cough at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, never-ending cough. But I really hope you guys have been doing well in your worlds and having fun. We've been keeping super busy. Like I said, I was out of town the other day, shooting a little segment of a video that I've been working on. And we had people here today doing stuff, and we were pushing cars in and out of the garage and up on ramps and stuff. Melissa's a trooper. One of the things I love about Melissa is she's not afraid to get right in there and help out. And she's the first one in the garage. Like the kids are usually like, I wouldn't say stalling, but they take their time a little bit. Melissa's ready to go. She's like, come on, let's get to it. Let's start pushing this car.
But you know what that partly is that I love Alexander, of course. He cannot wait. And I know if I'm not in there, he's going to be doing it on his own.
I tried doing it on my own earlier.
See, so the
didn't work.
faster I can get in there, the faster I can try to at least help a little bit to make it so that, I mean, I'm not maybe the strongest, but I can help. So yeah, you need to hurry if you want to be able to save him from himself.
Save me from myself.
Yep, because you were going to push it all by yourself.
I tried pushing it by
I
myself.
know.
And it didn't go so well.
Yeah.
I ran at it and I couldn't steer and push at the same time. But anyway,
It's not a light car.
it's not heavy. I made her push the, that is, okay, a couple things going on right now. One, we bought a 1960s Ferrari. So it was non-running, so I didn't have to pay as much for it as what you would normally pay for that car. Still was kind of pricey though, I'll be honest. But we bought it as an investment. And I'm going through the car in the latest video series. I'm working on it right now. And we are trying to just really bring it back up to being the showpiece that it should be. And Melissa came out in the garage today and helped me push it because it's not fully operational yet. I won't get into that too much because there's an update video coming on that. But, you know, it is probably one of the, it's a very pretty car.
Mhm.
And it's not as complicated as you'd think, you know. Oh, thank you so much for the super chats coming in too. I am surprised that it's just a normal car. Like I never had expected that I'd own a car like that. And our friend Bob is asking, will I bring it to Rock in August, which is a car show I like to attend here in town. And I'd like to. I'm trying to get it ready for that. That would be
I
great
asked
to
the
have
same
it.
thing, Bob.
She said, are you actually going to take that thing to a car show? I'm like, yeah. I totally want to be the guy sitting on my lawn chair with the hood up, you know, talking to people, you know, a straw hat. Say, you kids know what this thing is? Or, you know, like, they're asking about how many cylinders it is or whatever. It's a 12-cylinder car.
I like that car. You know what? I'm not a big car person, but I appreciate when cars are nice. And I do like that car. That's one that,
It's tasteful.
yeah, I think that it's a smart investment. And I like the car. I think it's not, I don't know. I just like I like the looks of it completely, that one.
Yeah. I am thankful for you that, you know what though, I will say that when I would say midway through our relationship, I went through an old car magazine and I got Melissa to point out which cars she thought were cool and which ones she didn't. Because I always like to look through, you know, old car magazines and stuff. And every car she would land on, she'd be like, oh, that's pretty. And it's an Aston Martin DB5. I'm like, okay.
And the old Ferrari. The
And
old
the-
Ferrari too.
But she also liked the old Ferraris, like a
Yeah.
250 or, you know.
But whatever the one was that I liked, it's like,
It was really expensive. But, you know, the thing is, the one that we got is very similar in
yeah,
style.
it looks very similar.
Very similar in style. In fact, I'm sure if you would have seen a picture of that, you would have been like, that's a nice car.
I probably would have thought it was the one that I saw in the magazine.
But you know what? So they have a brand new Ferrari, or a 2020 Ferrari, and they're auctioning it off or raffling it off at West Edmonton Mall, which is a really big shopping mall. It's like Mall of America. And I looked at it today. There's like jump seats in the back, but there's really no room. It's just, I don't know. It's like a lot of buttons and switches and things, and it doesn't seem as user friendly. The new Ferraris don't, in my opinion, and I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. Watch, I'll have like Ferrari write me. You must have taken the. I don't know why they're doing this all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take the car back. You don't get to keep the car. Anyway, in my humble opinion, the new Ferraris are very flashy and they're not super practical. Like they don't have big trunks and stuff. And the one that we picked up actually has a proper size trunk and it has a decent sized back seat. And it's a normal size kind of car. In fact, it's bigger than a Mustang. Like it's actually a lot bigger than you'd expect. It's larger than a Jag XKE by a bit. The closest car I've ever had to it would be the Jensen CV8, which I don't think I even had the YouTube channel when we had that car. And that car was very similar in sort of size and
yeah.
capacity. The difference is the Jensen had it had a 383 Mopar engine in it from the factory and was fiberglass. And it was so loud that when I drove it down the roads, it would set off car alarms all along the way.
Is that the one that we put the eyes on? Like the
Yeah.
not on. You know when you put the
We had like
cover.
we had a sunscreen for
Oh, yeah, sunscreen.
the window, and it looked like one of the
Lightning
car
McQueen
one of the car cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Well, they listened. I mean, he listened.
I don't even know if you guys can hear that.
I'm pretty sure they can hear it.
Anyway, we have been. Oh, our friend Bill is on right now too. We have been basically just going at 2023 with intentions to make this a big, bright, beautiful, and fun year. And that's really the goal of this year, is to have lots of fun, to do some things in life that we wouldn't normally have thought of doing. So we started off with purchasing a project Ferrari. Honestly, didn't think that would happen in my lifetime, but hey, there we go. And we have the coin auction is up and live right now. It's the coin auction is up and going. So if you're on Kastner Auctions, and I did go there the other day, and for those people that ended up bidding on stuff before, they have emptied out a lot of stuff that was sitting around there. So I think they're getting caught up on the shipping. So I think that you'll have, if you ordered something before and you're waiting on it, it should be on its way to you very soon. And the nice thing about the coin auction is that everything is really very small for the most part. And I did that intentionally so that it would be small packages, easy to ship out. But I guess we'll see how it goes. So
the song
auction is
called?
live. Oh, that was No Shade in the Shadow of a Cross by Sufjan Stevens. That's what that song is.
Sparkle Flare said, I'm still waiting for mine to ship.
I'm sorry if you're waiting for stuff to come to you. It's been, I guess they had some sicknesses and some challenges in the shipping department there.
Well, that would be hard right around Christmas time.
Well,
when
they only have, and so you get,
Oh my goodness.
if they're working together and they're calling each other's faces like I do to you at night when you're trying to sleep, and I'm like this, and then Melissa looks
I
at you
don't know
like
where
this.
I got it.
And
No,
I,
that's not true. I knew exactly where I
I'll
got it.
kind of like come to my senses and wake up, and I'll look at Melissa, and she's like this, like, you just coughed in my face. I was like, oh, what? Yeah, so I
story.
totally got her sick last time. That was my fault.
Yeah, that was awful. At least I was off already, so it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Can you make a baking video? I should do a baking video. I need to hurry up and do another video. I miss it. I miss you guys.
I probably shouldn't be holding the guitar because then I kind of just feel like playing the guitar. And I should be talking to you people. But anyway,
We were thinking about putting in. I was thinking about putting in a chicken house. What's it called? Chicken coop?
Are we going to talk about the chicken coop controversy?
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Melissa has eyes on where the chicken coop should go.
I mean, I don't even care as long as I get the chicken coop. But I found a chicken coop today online that one of the people I follow on YouTube has made, and I love it so much. So there's that. I want that to happen. But we're only thinking about 4 or 5 chickens. I know that's how it always starts. Everybody's like, yeah, 4 or 5 chickens. Good luck with that. But I'm serious. I only want 4 or 5 chickens.
I'm doing your background music while you talk, like your narration.
That's my narration. I need like a... Yeah, that one. Chickens, yeah.
The chicken song.
Yeah, the chicken song.
So I guess this year I'm going to be putting up a chicken coop. Which from the picture she showed me actually just looks like more or less one of those pre-manufactured sheds you get from like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or something with a fancy schmancy little chicken area off the side.
Well, you think that the fancy schmancy part was like the fenced in area with the plastic roof?
Yeah, it looked like a gazebo. It looked
chicken
fancy. It looked
square.
fancy.
I like the part. It looks like a little house, with a little chicken run on the side. But they did a little garden in the front, like a little flowery beautifulness. Is that your dad's guitar? Did I say?
Yes. It was my dad's guitar. The reason I play this, so one thing that I didn't show in the last video when we did that house clear out is that I actually found really good, a couple of good guitars in there. And my mind is going completely blank. I found a Martin, but oddly, the guitar I found was the Martin Johnny Cash Special. So it's all black with a black pick guard, and it's the same Martin guitar that Johnny Cash played. So I kept that back. The thing is, you'll probably notice that when I play guitar, even when I'm strumming, I don't use a pick. I use my thumb, and I have this really weird, look at the strumming pattern. So I don't use a pick at all. And the Martin guitar is an acoustic. This is a classical guitar, so it has nylon strings. So it's actually, it's a lot easier on your fingers because some of them are nylon. And when playing the Martin guitar, it hurts my fingers a little bit trying to do this.
Ask the Ball said Johnny Cash didn't use a pick either.
He played up on the neck too. He played up here. Or he'd move his way up and down the neck. If you ever look at like videos of Johnny Cash, and I apologize, I don't know if Kathy's on right now. Johnny Cash's daughter, Kathy, watches our channel and she's often on our live feeds. Kathy, are you here right now? But if you are watching this even after the fact, Kathy, your dad, I noticed that he held his guitar up high and he would like kind of go and play up on the neck a little bit and come back down, and you know, and it's a really interesting way of playing the guitar. And I saw I don't know if it was Conway Twitty or somebody was impersonating him, and they did the thing, they held it up and they're like, you know, pretend to be Johnny Cash, and they went up on the neck of the guitar just like he did. It was pretty awesome.
So there's a conversation between two people going on, and it says, why does Alexander look so much younger? And the other person said, it's a filter. No, it's not a filter. He got a haircut and sleep. And he always looks young. Huh? Right?
Ah.
He's like, I'm busy.
I can't remember Blackbird right now. I'm trying to remember it.
I can play it.
It goes up like there somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
Where's it go from there?
No.
That sounds off.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'll figure it out. I haven't played Blackbird in a long time. Anyway. So I have been two things. One, I cut my hair. Also, I've been back on keto again for the last month or so, and I'm down, I think, about 10 pounds. And I've got another 55 to, no, I've got about another 15 or 20 to go.
I think the biggest thing is cutting out, or
Cutting down on sugar?
cutting down sugar. And I think that's for all of us, like especially, what is it called? You know, regular old sugar.
It's surprising though.
It's not good for us.
How
but
much
it's
sugar-
So delicious.
I'm not really craving it at all.
No, well, we still, it's not like you've cut it out. It's just that we,
No, I think
Don't
I've
have-
almost cut it out. I've
In
almost
this-
cut it out of my
well, there's
diet.
a lot left.
A little Dave Coulier action there.
Cindy wrote, I had my late dad's guitar all or two. Unfortunately, I don't play. My dad would play it after he had a few beers.
Was he better after a few beers playing the guitar? What happened to Hans? I just saw Hans today. He was cutting down a tree for us over at our store. We are doing a site upgrade, a power upgrade over at the shop, and I needed to get a tree cleared. So Hans was over there, and he will appear in an upcoming video shortly anyway. Basically, we're just pointing at a tree and going, yep, those branches have to come down. That was about the extent of it. That's spoiler alert on that one.
Well,
Yeah.
they know what he does, so.
Alex said keto. Yeah. Basically, it's just I'm just avoiding sugar in a lot of breads and potatoes and starches and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
basically anything with,
Carby stuff. I'm trying to
not all carbs, but I mean,
I'm just keeping it down.
Yeah.
You know,
anything with empty calories is generally,
I don't know if Stairway to Heaven.
did somebody write that? Somebody said, how cold is it tonight? You guys, this is warm for us. I'm looking it up.
Are you looking up the temperature right now?
Yeah.
We're by, it is nice, but it's not even cold out. You know,
No, it's -8 Celsius.
what is that, like 35
But for us,
Fahrenheit or
it's
something?
normally like -30. So single digits. 0 is freezing. Hold on, I'm gonna look.
It's so funny that when it's -30, maybe it's because we run from one place to another and you're like, it's survival. But when it's warmer out like this, it almost feels colder. Yeah.
It's 18 Fahrenheit.
Somebody said play Opa Gang.
Oh, there.
Are we back now? Maybe turn your computer off.
Off?
Yeah.
You think
Well,
mine's draining it?
I think so.
Not our 3 children upstairs?
I don't know. The kids, I think, are upstairs. They say they're not on the phone, but I don't know. Time to get the kids off the internet. I know, Melissa, just shut the thing down.
I'll just look at it
We'll
with,
keep our internet to a minimum right now because we seem to be having, it's like country internet, and I know Josh had the same problem. But you know what? We have Starlink.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be really good.
Some days it doesn't work at all, but it does work better than
Does it?
dial-up.
Well, it works better than dial-up.
No, it works better like when you're doing a video on the computer. Before we couldn't use anything. Like everything does slow down. but you
That's
can-
true. It is better than
And it's
the normal
faster.
internet we have here. Yeah.
But I mean, the options are slim once you leave the city.
It's decent, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's not bad. I think if past Melissa could see what I'm complaining about now, she would be mad.
It's actually the fastest internet we can get out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it on so I can
Oh,
still see
somebody said, you just said, you know what's funny? And then it started buffering.
something. You know what's funny?
Things are funny.
No, I can't even remember. I can't turn that down.
But
That's exactly the meaning to life is, and then it flicks off.
somebody asked the other day, they said, what happened to your Daimler limousine? So I was doing a video series on the Daimler, as you guys might know, and I got it to the point where it ran and drove and kind of stopped. And that's about the point where I kind of was like, you know what? When we decided to buy the old Ferrari, I needed space in the garage. And so we had to basically get the Daimler out. So it is over at Kastner Auctions right now. We had it towed to the auction house and people are bidding on it. It's going up, I think it's ending on the 22nd or 26th. Maybe somebody out there at home who's smarter than me, which is a lot of you, could tell me the exact day that it's ending. But we do have the car up for auction at Kastner right now. And we're just letting her ride, just no reserve, letting it go. And hopefully it'll find a new loving home. For me, that car was really big and it was taking up a large amount of space in the garage. And at some point, space in the garage is more important than having a bunch of things. A couple things we did in preparation for buying the Ferrari. I sold off a whole bunch of cars, the Mustang, we sold off the AMG, we sold off the Nash Metropolitan, we sold off the Chevy truck that we had. And isn't that crazy? Like, I sold off all those working vehicles that ran and drove and looked cool to get one car that doesn't even run right now.
It's a Ferrari.
But it's a piece of metal with wheels and it doesn't even run.
I mean, that's not going to be a forever thing. It's not like you don't fix things.
I better use that as my everyday car for the rest of my life to justify it.
I don't think some things need to be justified.
True. I guess there's people who hang artwork on their walls and stuff. We do. We hang our kids'
You
art.
could have just sold those cars and had your money sitting in the bank.
That would be
doing
no
nothing.
fun.
Yeah. I think now it's better to have, for us, it's better to have that car in the garage. And now you have something to tinker on. That's kind of awesome.
I will say I've really been enjoying tinkering on the car. I've been having a great time, getting parts off of it to go get refinished and changing out the spark plugs and kind of getting it ready to start and run. It's been fun, really. And you're taking something that really, they didn't make a whole lot of. I think they made just over 400 of these cars. So there's not a pile of them out there. And you're taking something that's actually kind of rare. And the thing is, replating a bumper on an old Ferrari like this costs the same amount as replating the bumper on an old truck or an old whatever. They just measure it and your price is by the foot, basically. And so a lot of the restoration costs, like upholstery, chrome, paint, all that is exactly the same on this car as it would be on any other car. But the more money you put into this car, the more you get back out of it eventually, because it's a little bit more desirable than a Nash Metropolitan or an MGA or things like that. Which is funny because like an MGB is actually a very decent sports car and they're not very much money at all. In fact, if a person wanted to have a really fun sports car for summer, I'd recommend an MGB. They're cheap to buy parts for. They're generally pretty reliable.
They're pretty awesome. Like they look.
Yeah, they look
Cute.
great. But you can still have one for under $10,000, even Canadian, that's in very decent shape. And so they've never really gone up in value. So they're not a great investment, but they're a really great car.
If you want an old car, it's a.
You know, the other car that we had that was really decent, we had a Fiat. We had a Fiat Spider, and that was a really good car. I drove that car all year round, which I know is kind of sacrilegious that you shouldn't do. But I had a 1978 Fiat Spider, same age as me. It's a classic, I'd like to think. And when I was working at a clothing store, which I did, I worked as a manager at a clothing store. This is what, 15 years ago or something? I would drive that car as my daily car, and in summertime, I'd have the top. You just basically unlatch the top, you throw it behind you, and you turn on the music, and you just smile all the way home. Doesn't matter how bad of a day you had at work, putting the top down and having the sun shining on your head, it was great.
There's
And
nothing like having to get out of a car as fast as you can to get a top on when it starts to rain.
But you know what? You know what's funny about that car is that I drove it in winter and I drove it in minus 40 weather.
Yeah.
And that car on some days was the only car that would start in the area, and it had an excellent heater.
But it didn't plug in, did it? Like,
No, I never plugged
no,
it in.
It didn't have a block heater.
The only problem I had with it in winter driving it, and that was kind of a big problem. It started, it was like minus 40 or something really crazy. It was really cold. And I had the car at a parkade and I started it up, and other people's cars weren't starting all around me. It was brand new cars that weren't starting. Mine, vroom, started right up. I'm like, this is great. Well, it was so cold that by the time I got home, the paint had actually, because of the heat off of the engine, the paint had started to actually release itself from the metal on the hood. And I had giant sheets of red flying past me as the paint delaminated off the
I
hood.
didn't realize that was the Fiat. I thought that was the Triumph.
That was the Fiat. And so I got that car home and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? So I did what any, respectable young guy at the time would do. I did the Mr. Bean treatment to it, and I painted it flat black. Just the hood was flat black until I could afford to get the car's hood properly painted. And I still just drove it. I
I
drove it
blocked
all
that part
around.
out. I remember the paint peeling off. I
Yeah.
forgot that you painted it.
That was an excellent vehicle. You know, there's certain sports cars that a person has had in their cars that you've just really connected with. I had a great time in that car. When we first met, I had a 64 Ford Fairlane 500. Do you remember that, the
Yep.
blue car?
Did it have the blue light?
It had a blue light.
Yeah, that one.
I was working in the film industry at that time, which sounds better than if you say you like, oh.
It depends. When you say the film industry, I've had to correct
Yeah.
because, yeah.
Yeah, it's if you say you work in theater, people are like, oh, okay. But if you say you work in the film industry, they're like,
Yeah.
But if you say you work in the entertainment industry, they're like, Anyway, when I was working in that industry, and I was, what was I was working on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show. This is how old I am. I'm showing my age here. I worked on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show. It was one of my first jobs. And I wanted to make my car fancy on the interior. You know, like I couldn't afford to really pimp my ride or anything. And the dome light for the roof was broken. The glass was broken on it. So I asked one of the electrics if I could have some of their gel, which is like basically they have a sheet of, they have different colored sheets of kind of see-through material, and they use it to put on lights to create a different mood or effect, cool, warm, etc. And so they cut me off a little snippet of leftover blue gel, which is what this clear kind of, I don't know how to describe it. How would you describe it? It's like a really heavy, like a thicker plastic you could roll it. Anyway, they cut me off a piece of that. I cut a round little circle out, stuck it in my dome light, and now Melissa remembers it as having the blue light in the
Just
car.
remember the car as with the blue light.
But the exterior was blue and the interior was blue, and I put a blue light in it, and I thought, this is cool.
Didn't Jason also have a blue light in his car?
I don't know,
Like that?
but we were doing things in the
Yeah, I think
90s.
both Alexander and his friend.
That was like 1997.
Yeah,
Gosh, I've known you for a long time.
a little bit.
We were kids. What were we thinking?
We were thinking,
Oh, I know what we were thinking.
how you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking. Anyway, so it's been a long time. I think, when did I meet you? What year did I meet you?
96.
90,
No,
95. 1995 is this
Nice.
gal right here. I don't know why I'm talking like that now, but this gal right here has been with me since 1995. Since, I wonder if people could say, like, if they got married in 2001, would they say, or 2002, would they say ought to? Like people used to say?
I've
Like-
never heard that.
It's an expression people used to say, like, well, back in the gold rush of '09, we went prospecting down in California.
Like, is ought 0?
Yeah, odd is like 0. Yeah. So I wonder if you could do that if you were in the 2000s. Like my kids could say they were born in '05 and '06. York.
I've never even heard that. I've heard a not, but I have never heard anybody use
I got
it.
one tooth left called Chompy. I use it to open up cans of beans. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Gave him wine. I offered tea, so.
She did offer tea, but look, I still have I have a schnufter left of wine. What?
I didn't have any wine and I can't read my phone. There's little things like that where I realize that I'm getting older, where I'll just think I can read your comments on the phone. No, it's not happening.
I can read
I have
them.
no clue. I can.
Do you know why I say I can read them? Because I'm like RoboCop. I had LASIK laser eye surgery. Pew, 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 pew. Laser beams. Pew, 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 pew. Has anybody out there had LASIK eye surgery before?
This is not sponsored.
Or laser eye surgery or corrective, anyway. Yeah, I should get sponsored. I don't know, what would they do it again?
Maybe they do Stevens for free.
I'd like to get my toes done so I can see what I'm
But
walking
when when Alexander got it done, it was still fairly new, not brand new, but they used to do it with the laser and the scalpel. So you had the choice of what you wanted to be done. So you could have like half and half, like what part of the procedure they would use the laser for and what. So, I mean, Alexander, you could see instantly better. Like it was
so weird. On the
Yeah.
drive home from having it done, I see a lot of people. I'm looking at you. A lot of people at home have had it done or their kids have had it done. And I didn't have any issue. For me, it worked out okay. And I'll get back to what it was like driving home afterwards. But
who cares about that? Tell them about the glasses. and
no,
the
I
laser.
had a friend that I worked with a guy. He was also, where did he work?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I thought he was on the baseball league with
I
me.
know you're looking at me, but I don't know who you're talking
You
about.
usually know exactly what I'm thinking before I'm thinking
No clue.
it. Oh.
Baseball.
Anyway,
Did he work with you?
he had his eyes done. Ba-boo! And one of them was 20/20 and one of them, he almost got blinded. And so he had to wear glasses still. One of them had a prescription, the other one was just clear lens.
Can you imagine?
I would get a monocle at that point, I think. You may as well Mr. Peanut it.
Oh my
If
God.
you're already in that position, you got one bad eye, you may as well be like, I'm gonna own this. There's only one time in your life when you need a monocle. That's the time. Like half an opera gun. Ping! I say. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know why he'd start talking like that. But I think I think that you would lean into the monocle, is what I'm saying.
I've heard a lot of people have good results. But I've also had, like, Alexander had dry eyes for almost 3 months where it felt like he had sand in his
Oh yeah,
eyes.
that part sucked.
But some people have that forever. Like their eyes just always feel scratchy. Like but I mean,
Okay.
you had no.
On the drive home, here's the thing. So my vision was good up close, but I could not see things far away very well. And if I move my eye, anybody ever do this at home? You wiggle your eye around and you're like, I can read the sign if I do this. That was me. If I didn't have my glasses, I could read signs and things if I moved my eyelids around. And I guess it kind of like stretched my eyeball out and I could see better. But anyway, I guess it kind of smushed my field of vision down a little bit. Because somebody says corneal kink. Anyway, I don't know if you guys ever tried that at home if you have bad vision, but yeah, sometimes if I narrowed my eye a bit, I could see better. So if I was driving at night, it was more difficult. If I was trying to see road signs at a distance, I had to have glasses. But when we got out of the surgery part, what did they give me? What was the pill they gave me?
It was Ativan.
Oh, they gave me Ativan.
That wasn't out of the surgery. That's while you were waiting for the surgery. It wore off before you got the surgery.
That's right, it did. They gave me Ativan, and I was like, I love you. You're beautiful.
At first, it was like they give you this like little fanny pack. This is a while ago. I don't know how it is now. They give them Ativan so that you calm down, that you're getting your eyes lasered.
Did
And
the fanny pack have like the granny glasses?
they
in
had
it?
like these big
cataract
glasses,
glasses.
and Alexander's like, I'm not wearing these things, because he was still a cool kid back then. So he's like, I'm not wearing this. It was seriously like that. By the time that Ativan kicked in, you had the glasses on, you were singing, you were talking to people like the...
To be clear, I was not doing a Ray Charles impersonation,
No.
to my knowledge. I put on the giant glasses.
Oh my goodness, you guys. It was, I have never witnessed anything like that in my life. But then it just wore off. And they're like, as soon as it wore off, they were like, okay, Alexander, your turn. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I vaguely remember being a little bit happy.
Oh my goodness.
But-
it was so funny.
This is where I'm going to go into detail about the experience of having my laser eye surgery done. So they gave me the Ativan, but then they sat me in the waiting room and I waited there so long that it kind of wore off
Yeah,
before I went in. And so I was very lucid and very, is this where I start the Jeff Goldblum impersonation? No, Jeff Goldblum, wow, but why? Anyway, so it was wearing off, and then they take you into this little room and they lie you down and they put drops in your eyes so you can't feel anything. And they actually lift it. They take a can opener and they
What?
peel back like a sardine can your cornea. Anyway,
I swear, you guys, we went to a legit office and
no,
not
it
a
was
back alley.
he took the little screw thing from a sardine can and he went,
Oh my gosh.
and he lifted my eyes up. And no, I think there was a scalpel involved in things. Anyway, they did the thing. They lift the flaps. Your eyes anyway are exposed, and you can't see. Everything is fuzzy. Like, remember on an old television set? Maybe some of you can't remember because maybe there's really young people watching. But if you had an old TV set and you turn that dial and you only had 3 channels, like we did growing up, we had like 3 channels. And you go to the channels that you probably had to pay for, and sometimes they'd be staticky. And you get to that one where it's nothing but fuzz. That's what it's like. You're like, ah! You're blind and you can't see anything. It's just white fuzz. It's the TV fuzz everywhere. And I'm not moving my head around. I think they had my head clamped into position.
No, you would not.
So I couldn't move because I don't think they want you moving around when there's laser beams shooting at you. So you're blind for a minute and all you see is this white fuzz. And then you see red, and that's the laser, and you see red where you should normally see, things like trees or people or corn dogs or whatever you happen to be looking at that time.
That combination.
I imagine I'm in a park when there's an event happening that there's corn dogs at. Listen, let me have my dreams, okay?
I just like how your story goes, like how that list goes in your head of the things that you should be seeing.
I'm at a park and there's a
People,
corn dog and life is good. Anyway, that's what I should be looking at. Instead, all you see is a red dot. And then you're like, well, this is really weird because you can hear the laser like, and there's a red dot in your eyes. But then the icing on the cake is they don't tell you this when you're breathing, like breathing through your mouth.
I can't believe you're showing
You
this.
inhale the subtle aroma. What is this? I know, this is a familiar flavor. Why, it's burning eyeball.
Oh,
This is the burning of an eyeball. That's the flavor you never get out of your mouth.
Do you think our kids upstairs just stopped whatever they're doing and did that look over the what?
They should have given me like a face filter. Like I'm talking like hazmat thing for so I didn't have to breathe that in. Because you're getting this done and you're like, oh, it's my eyeball. And you can't cry. Anyway, I wasn't upset about it. It was just like one of those things where, you eat a bad grape and you're like, oh, that was a bad grape. That's what it was like. You're like, oh, that's my eyeball. Ugh. It was gross.
No, that sounds gross.
But you know what? It's locked in. That is one memory. Do you guys at home who had your LASIK, do you remember the taste of your own eyeball? Because I sure do. Anyway, that was the taste of my eyes getting better. And where I'm going with this story is that after all this happens, you come out and you're a little bit drugged and woozy and you can't see right and you're wearing your grandma's cataract glasses. Melissa guided me to the vehicle. And on the way home, somebody's like, yeah, the smell is so gross. It was so bad. Yeah, that's right. On the way home, and I'm a little bit out of it, probably from the Ativan, not from just having the taste of eyeball in my mouth. And on the way home, as my eyes are healing and I've got these glasses on, I'm spotting stuff like miles away. And she has good vision. I'm going to point right at you. She has really good vision. And I was seeing stuff you couldn't even see.
Yeah,
I was like reading license plates way in the distance.
We had to be in the office. They were telling Alexander about what he needed to expect for the next little bit and how to take care of himself. And all of a sudden he starts reading something. And it was like this letter, or the wording on this little box across the room. They're like, don't worry, you're not going to be able to see that clear. It's going to go down to a normal. He just stayed, and then not only that, they said at 30 you'd be getting glasses again, because even with LASIK you end up having to.
It degrades a little bit.
Yeah, you'd end up needing reading glasses by 30, and he didn't. So
I'm telling you, folks, it was one step away from having superpowers. I felt like I could you look like you're emotional about your cat being sick this morning. Like I could just look at somebody and know what was going on.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
how good my vision was.
You guys
Mittens threw up on the carpet, didn't she? They're like, how did you know I had a laser eye surgery? Like, you have a talent. I'm like, I know.
Today was the episode where you guys learned that Alexander's tasted his burning eyeball.
No, but it's worth it. If Maeva says, I don't think I want to have this done now. Okay, if you go into it knowing, I don't know, bring a Binaca with you and say, like, can you spray my face with Binaca? Not your face. I don't think you're supposed to spray your, but
What's
if you go in,
Binaca?
it's like a breath thing.
Oh.
Anyway, if you go into it knowing that you're going to have this terrible smell, but I'm telling you, my eyes, like, I could just see everything. I could see your thoughts.
Maybe not the thought.
That's mainly just your facial expressions. I know when I'm in trouble. Like any good husband, I know when I've gone too far.
He makes no eye contact. Zero eye contact. He'll just keep walking.
That's a survival instinct. If you don't see the lion in the bushes, it might not pounce on you, but you always do.
So the other day, I saw Alexander had come home because the gate's open, and I opened the front door to make it easy for him to come in and get scared. And then I went into our hall closet, and I just sunk back into the coats, like Homer
Yeah.
into that hedge. And
I
he
did-
says, he comes in and he's talking to the dog. He's like, Chewy, is she hiding on me, Chewy? Where is she, Chewy? Because Chewy's already barking. And he's like, she's in the pantry. And then he goes to hang up his coat, which is why I was in there, because I knew that's where he was gonna go. And I came out and I went, nope. And he just would hit the deck, but he had the look of pure fear, but also mixed with so entertained and.
Yeah, she just emerged from somewhere. So they said the lion sleeps
Nope.
tonight.
Oh, it was funny.
She I don't even know where she just emerged. I went to hang my coat up where I normally do, and she disappeared. Nope. I had to wash my pants after that.
Oh my gosh.
My gosh. But she's always hiding on all of us.
You were so surprised. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
The
she's.
best was that you thought you knew because the dog was giving me up. Oh, she's in the pantry.
I thought I
ain't
was
you?
safe. I thought I was safe. Oh,
my
I was
goodness.
not safe. You know, even so Steven every night, Melissa tries to hide on Steve. It's the thing they do. Steven comes to get a hug. Sometimes I'll distract him with little jazz hands. And then while I'm doing that, she'll run downstairs and hide and he'll go, no, 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 no. Like he knows something's up. Yeah. By the way, Steven's 18 now. He's an adult. This will not change for the duration of his life. We're going to have senior citizen Melissa still hiding and trying to scare the pants off everybody in this house. This is what we deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very bored individual, apparently. I need a better hobby.
She does it for herself.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Anyway, so yeah, we usually end up having being frightened at some point during the day on account of Melissa. On the other hand, did you guys ever watch the Pink Panther? And then Inspector Clouseau always had Kato. This is an old reference for those that don't remember the Peter Sellers classic Pink Panther movies. But if I'll explain it to you, the Pink Panther, he's a bumbling detective. Pink Panther is actually the name of a diamond that was being stolen in one of the episodes. But Melissa is my Kato. She is the Kato to our house. Every time we're like,
Did you say that was a bumbling detective?
no, Peter Sellers was a bumbling detective, and he had Kato, which was his assistant who knew kung fu and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Kato would hide on him, and he'd go, Kato, are you hiding? And Kato would just jump out from behind a door and they'd start attacking him. That's her. This is my life. You guys just see me with my hand going through a box or whatever, but what you miss is that in my real life, I have Melissa, aka Kato, to me, the bumbling Peter Sellers, constantly attacking and jumping and hiding on us and scaring us. There is no peace in
You
my
don't
life.
even come anywhere. You don't just walk into a room anymore. I'll just see this little part of his hair, just his hair sticking out, and he'll be like, Melissa, you out there? I could be in the other room, but I can hear it happening. I don't even need to be in the room anymore.
Yeah.
I know you're out there, and I'm reading my book.
Yeah, it's the worst when I think you're hiding and you're just sitting on the couch being silent.
I
And
mean-
you know what you're doing. She knows what she's doing.
No.
She's a pest. Don't trust her. She's not innocent. And then Heather, my sister Heather is on right now. Heather's a shin kicker.
Oh.
But I said shin. But then she only kicks people's shins who she likes. So if you walk in the door and she's like, I owe you this from last time you bugged me. Little kick in the shin. And she's a little person. Like she's not classified as a little person,
You
but
think she's like taking down like making sure she keeps a tally for when she sees you next?
I don't know, but I'm
We've
gonna be
got
in trouble
two at
even for talking about it. She ended up with the wrong brother because she's got one that's really out there, and very kind of private. And she was actually here a couple weeks ago. She had a lovely time hanging out with us. We gave her COVID, made her sick, and then she went home. And
As soon as she got better,
so she got better. She got sick again from somebody else.
but we all got to spend time together. I mean, there's nothing like that whole sharing is caring.
We must care
I've never
a lot.
really had a sick buddy before, but if I had to be sick, I don't want anybody else being sick. But it was nice having somebody to be sick with, which sounds so awful.
I see a lot of Pink Panther references. That's not my Minky. He used to say Minky instead of monkey. You know, the other movie, which is kind of slow paced, the Peter Sellers' The Party.
Is that the one with the bird?
Bird and Num Nums.
Yeah, birdie num num.
Yeah, that was funny too. Anyway, Peter Sellers. My dad was a big fan of Peter Sellers and Monty Python, and so growing up, I had all these influences of crazy Xanity. Did I just make up a word? Xanariety?
Oh my gosh, we should give him wine more often. Did I just make up a word?
I can make up words all I like.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, Anyway, I grew up with a dad who watched a lot of old, like, 60s and 70s comedies. And oddly, not oddly, I'm sure a lot of you have parents at home who watched a lot of war movies for whatever reason.
Oh, my dad.
Your dad, my dad. If it was like a World War II, if it was John Wayne or World War II, he was all in.
Yeah.
Except I don't know when John Wayne played, I am Spartacus, partner. He doesn't, I don't know. The Roman thing wasn't maybe a great fit for John Wayne, whose real name was Marion, by chance, by fact, not by chance.
What?
John Wayne's real name was Marion. Yeah, that's right. I don't know where I'm going with this.
My dad used to watch the History Channel, but it would be like all the stuff that I found so horrifically boring. My brother, I think both of my brothers, they enjoyed it, but no, but he would fall asleep with the remote on him, and it would still be on. So there was no hope. So he had it in his lap, the remote, and our TV, for some reason, I don't know why we couldn't change it on the TV. Am I just so lazy that I had to go?
I don't know.
But we went to that song because it was on his lap, and you can't just reach over and take it off.
Going down that it's the children that are doing it. Which is Lee.
I closed the lid on the wherever I put it. Are you gonna take some questions, or
Yeah, we should do that.
I can't? You're gonna have to read them because I actually can't see it.
I'm looking for questions right now. What questions would people possibly have?
I don't know.
Do you cut your toenails?
Maybe.
Do you keep them after? Because I do. I got a jar full. Oh, that reminds me of a story.
Oh no.
I went, and I don't know if he watches my channel, and I'm not going to name names because
No,
honestly,
well,
I
what
don't
happens
remember.
if he does watch the channel?
Well, I don't remember his name. So what? I could be talking about anybody.
He knows. He'll know.
Okay, here is the deal, guys. I didn't film this adventure, and be thankful that I didn't. I had a guy call me up. Why am I sharing this story? Why did it come to me now? Because I asked if I cut my toenails. That's why.
Oh my
I
God.
had a fellow call me up and say he had some watches he wanted to sell.
I am so sorry if this is you.
Wristwatches. Sounds nice enough, right? I'm a wristwatch guy. I'm wearing an Omega Speedmaster right now. I love vintage watches. I
This
love
is going to be a huge
cool
overshare.
watches. Anyway, so when somebody says they have a whole bunch of vintage watches for sale, that strikes my fancy. I'd like to go have a look. So I go to the guy's house and we go in. His house is very clean. I'll start off by saying it's very organized. And I go into his den, his office, and he has a showcase. And in this showcase is like hundreds of nice watches, like Omegas and, you know, Rolexes and nice Seiko watches, and everything's an automatic or a chronograph, and it looks really good, right? And he has shelves, and on these shelves, there's all sorts of things. There are, you know, like old matchbooks he's collected in a jar and stuff. And then I see this sort of white stuff in this, like it looks like powder or something. And at first I don't know what it is. And I'm like, what on earth is that? And he says, well, I hope you don't mind. And you probably are going to think this weird, but I've been keeping my finger and toenail clippings for the last 15 years in these jars. And I've been putting them on my shelf. And
Like jars full, like mini jars?
like mason jars.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
glass, you know, that
You
should
made it
have.
sound like there was just a tiny bit of powder, but for 15 years.
No, it was like, you know, when you get those gem like jars, like a blue mason jar or glass that should have, you know, grandma's preserves or jelly in it. Instead, he thought, I'm going to keep my finger and toenail clippings. And he did for years. And there was jars and jars of them. And you'd think that
I don't know why someone would do that. Like it sounds gross to me. It's not like,
maybe he was impressed by look what my body made.
but I am curious what would go through somebody's mind to want to keep it.
At least
Like
he didn't keep his poop in a jar.
See there, that would be actually gross.
That'd have to be like a pickle a bucket, like
But
a
it's
big
somebody
barrel.
that's really organized and clean. So
Yeah, his house was clean. And the fingernail clippings were in neat little jars, neatly placed
there's
on the
always
shelf.
a story. Like there's a reason that people do these things. It might be
Blech.
weird. I mean, it might
That's-
be strange to us, but I'm curious
Something's up.
actually why he's keeping it. Like there's a reason.
Because he wanted to, but that ain't right. I don't know. And I
That-
apologize. If you're at home right now, somebody watching this right now is being like, I happen to keep all of my fingernail clippings and there's nothing wrong with that. And you're an
Well, then
anti-fingernailite.
You guys know if those people know the answer. They know why. I have
It's
no clue.
fun to look at. I don't know. There are people who have also, you know, they keep like two-headed pig fetuses in a jar and stuff. Like people collect all sorts of weird stuff. But anyway, so this guy has these jars and some of them are kind of mixed in with the watches, right? And you'd think that would stop me from buying a bunch of watches. But guess what it didn't do? It didn't stop me from buying a bunch of watches. In
It's
fact,
not like the watches were in there with it. Like it wasn't in the same jar.
but you have to think that if he was adding to that jar, some might have fluttered out into the watches.
I would not think that. You know why? Because I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Just don't connect the dots. Anyway, so anyway, I go there and there's watches. It's like, you know, you shall be gifted the gift of treasure aplenty, but you will have to dig through feces and fingernail clippings to get to it. And you're like, well, I guess this is happening. And you let your mind go to another place and you're like, I'm gonna pretend like these aren't jars of fingernails. And you kind of just scooch them out of the way to get to the watches. And I bought all sorts of great watches that day. So,
Do you
know
think
what?
there's anybody right now that's bought watches off of you and they're like, ooh?
Well, I would have cleaned them first. I generally, if I sell a watch, I'll give it a clean and a polish
Yeah,
and
of course.
stuff, and
And then it looks a lot nicer. and-
throw a few fingernail clippings in the bag and ship it off on eBay. There you go. There's my gift to you. Is some DNA from me.
Oh.
Fingernail clippings from fingers 1, 2, and 3. I'm turning into Dr. Zeus right now. I don't know. Anyway, some people smoke nail clippings. No, that has to be an urban legend. What? Could
That
you
would
imagine?
smell so bad. I was lighting a candle once and I was like, what smells like burning hair? But my nail was too long and I burnt the tip of my nail because that was a really huge brain moment for me. It would stink so bad.
Yeah. No, I don't. Why would you
It
burn?
would smell like, it smells like burnt hair.
Why would you smoke fingernail clippings? That's so disgusting. That's probably the worst thing I've ever heard in
Well,
my entire life.
Yeah, but they did do something, remember, with like hoof, like the powdered hoof?
Yeah, they make Jello out of it.
No, not that. It's not.
Isn't there weird stuff in Jello? That's
Yeah.
another thing that you have to put your mind somewhere else. Is that there's things in
It's
Jello
like
that
boiled cartilage and.
I don't know. It maybe jiggling like that ain't natural. If you have to like boil bones or whatever to make Jello, but then it's so good. But
It's so
it's
good.
so good. It's like you can't really think too much about it. I guess it's no different than eating a steak or something. You can't be like, think about it.
No, there's a lot.
I wouldn't walk up to a cow and be like, that looks tasty.
I bet there are some people that are like, that's a good cow.
I don't know. Well, how did this go? Oh, fingernail clippings. Why? Somebody explained to me. Maybe I missed it. Smoking toenails is better than the rice cooker method. I don't know. What are you guys on about? Smoking toenails?
See, that's what happens when I don't have my computer and I can't read my phone.
My sister Heather says, you will have to change the topic. She spent $2 to tell me that so I'd really see it. And then she gave me the barf emoji. Oh, I'm so sorry, Heather. Okay, we'll change the topic. I made my sister physically ill. Trust me, Heather, as you get to know me, you'll find that there will be many days and many years that I will make you physically ill. This is just one of them. You're welcome. That's what little brothers are for. I'm a little brother. I guess I've always been a little brother.
Yep.
But now I'm really a little brother.
You're the littlest of four.
Yeah, I have to go and visit Steve though at some point too. Not that I wouldn't visit Heather at the same time, but I was feeling guilty about my Steve absence because he hasn't been able to get time off. Well, he's a busy guy, so I got to get down there and go see him. Yeah. Oh, somebody said there's always room for Jello, and I met somebody sometimes I find what I feel like is the most appropriate joke for that person in that moment. And I met somebody who was a cellist, and I said, "Oh, there's always room for cello," and they didn't laugh. Kind of like when Heather and I were at the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Colorado, and I said to the guy, "Well, you boys are hitting the wicker hard this morning." And they looked at me like this at first, and then one was like, "Oh," after he got it. That was a video. Somewhere there's a video of that, and I think I actually filmed myself saying it, and you can see the reaction. But yeah, because they get up really early, like 5 a.m, to get their hot air balloons ready. So I
think they get up a lot earlier.
Well, yeah, they get up way earlier than
People
that.
come for like 5 or 6.
We were there very early, and I said in my best Canadian voice, "Oh, you boys are hitting the wicker hard this morning, aren't you?" It's as funny to me now as it was then. But even if I was the only one laughing, at least somebody laughed, right? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, now she's giving me the look that like a psychiatric nurse would give me, and I get that look from her a lot, where she's like, "Oh."
Sometimes I'll be the only one to laugh, but
Yeah, Heather says good times. That was really fun though to see people, set up all those air balloons and everything. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, yeah, this has been a blast chat with you guys. It's been an hour already. Can you believe that? I feel like I've been talking a lot. I feel
Are your lips
cautious.
numb?
I feel very cautious of the fact that I have been chatting way too much.
Is that the theme for that? That was the song for that? The end.
It's time for us to go. La 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 la. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I've had a wonderful time visiting with you. I can't say the same about Melissa. She may have been regretting half of this experience here. And my sister Heather, thank you for joining. And I'm sorry for making you feel barfy about smoking toenails and whatever else weird topics we got along. Melting hooves down, tasting your own eyeball burning.
Yeah.
This has been a real champ of an episode. This has. But if you're watching this after the fact and you're still online, we have an auction. This is where I have to be a proper person and promote. I have a business. I have a business.
This is where I need to be a proper person.
I have to be a proper person. We have an auction sale happening right now. If you like the video with all the coins, you should check it out at Kastner Auctions. That's K Auctions. What auctions? KAuctions.ca. You'll find the Curiosity Inc. coin, currency, and collectibles sale. That's a lot of C's, but why not? Check it out. Go buy something, have some fun, or just tell your friends. If you like coins, who doesn't like money? I like the coins too. You should go and have a look. Why? It's KAuctions.ca. What's the site again? KAuctions.ca. Look for the collectibles sale. Curiosity Inc. It's live right now. And while you're there, you can also check out the auction sale, which is coming up at the end of the month. And we are highlighting the sale of our 1948 Daimler limousine, possibly owned by the Queen. Possibly, can't claim anything there, but it was a car that was used by the Queen. And guess what? It could be yours at no reserve. So check out the auction sales now.
Did you just make a claim and then say can't claim right after it?
Might have been. You know what though? I looked up the license plate number from that car, and you can kind of look and see where the license plate came from, and it's from the area where Windsor Castle is. So I'm not connecting dots, but I'm not connecting dots.
Yeah,
you can do the
could
research.
be, but
I was
don't know
told
for sure.
this. I was told in no different way than this is that I think that car was owned by the mayor of Bath at one time. It might have been a dignitary vehicle. And I'm like, well, that's pretty possible because there is the little flag on the hood and everything. And your average person doesn't need to put a flag on your hood. Mind you, that might be something we need to start with your car.
Don't just put on my car.
While I've had this glass of wine in me, I'm going to go out and drill a hole in the hood of your car and mount a flag mount on it.
I feel like I have a different life than you guys. There's
I got to go out there and we're going to make it
I have
into
to
like
like
a...
restrain Alexander from putting a hole in my hood to put a flag in there.
People will be like, is the dignitary from Zimbabwe visiting? And they'll look and it'll be
for
Melissa.
sure, I will pull up at the school parking lot and be like,
You just park anywhere.
crazy Melissa.
I think if you have a flag on your hood, you just park wherever you want. You park on top of a fire hydrant, like water spraying out
Look
everywhere.
at this person.
And they come to write a ticket and they're like, well, this looks pretty official. We should let this one pass. Your car's hovering on the jet of water, like just floating there, but they're like, that's got a flag on the hood. They must have intended this. I'm telling you guys, we're all missing out. Every one of you at home is missing out by not having a flag on the hood of your car.
You could have a flag on your car if you buy the Daimler.
I had a senior citizen customer that used to come to my store, and I don't know where he got it from. He had a magnetic woman's boob that he stuck on as a hood ornament on his car. And he was like a little old man. I'm like, what is this? Why on your Toyota are you driving around with this? He's like, hey, it's the closest I'll get to one of them at my age. Oh, there's characters out there. So a flag on your hood is a much more moderate approach to adornment, I think, than what's possible.
Oh.
And on that note, folks, I say howdy and sayonara and hasta mañana and moganda, was it magandang gabi? Magandang gabi. Oh boy, my Tagalog is way off tonight. Anyway, guys, I've enjoyed the moment with you. I'm going to go and settle myself down after putting a flag on the hood of Melissa's car. And off we go. So have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And bye for now. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
It's not working. There we go.